here we are with another episode of the Chris and Daryl podcast.
Yeah,
see?
it's a little better.
It's already episode 3.
Yeah, I can't believe it. We've been talking for days and
sleeping for hours.
It's snowing outside.
Yeah.
Dumping. I think we might get a foot.
We could get a foot within 2 days, yeah. Yep.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to dive right into the local happenings that are coming up here. Every Tuesday night at the Tilted Tiki is a great open mic. Bring your instrument and expect to have some fun. It's $2 on a bunch of items off the menu. And Wednesday nights out at the Wild Badger in New Richmond is a really fun jam. The community kind of comes out and there's drums and a couple guitars and yeah, it's a lot of fun. Sometimes there's a horn section. On Thursday nights down at the Liftbridge Brewery.
Yeah,
that's some good beer. Hop Dish and Farm Girl, and they come out with some craft beers. We're going to have one of those guys, maybe Mr. Brad, on the show at some point. But every Thursday, there's some great music going on down there. I get together with a couple guys, and we take turns passing the microphone around and making faces at the audience. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. Friday, February 8th, we have Cassandra Cole down at the Lions Tavern. And if you haven't heard of Cassandra Cole, go check her out. She is absolutely awesome. Great songwriter. Beautiful person. Like, her heart is made of gold. Go check her out. Listen to her lyrics. And on the same night out in New Richmond, Wisconsin, is the infamous Nicki Pepper at the Muddy Cantina. Muddy Cantina. It's the
and it's where in Wisconsin?
Wisconsin.
Do you know what Wisconsin stands for?
Cheese?
No.
Packers.
Wisconsin. A bunch of wusses, cons, and sinners. Yeah.
That's why there's a bunch of Lutherans.
I don't know what that means.
Well, anyway.
We'll edit that out. Yeah, no, we won't.
So, yeah, go check out Nicki Pepper. I know the Sunday following the 8th, I guess that would be the 10th of February. She has a show out there at the Amory Theater, which is a really cool venue. $10 at the door. Half of the proceeds goes to the Amory Art Alliance, which is a great thing. February 9th, we have the acoustic cocktail at Flat Earth Brewing in St. Paul at 6:30. There's a food truck involved. Great beer. It's the old, Shells building? Is it the Shells building? Hams building?
No, it's not Shells, because
it was pretty much a crappy beer. And I'm seriously, it was
Hams, maybe?
Super cheap.
Pig's Eye
beer. Yeah.
Is it in St. Yeah, it's in St. Paul.
Yeah, it's in St. Paul.
It's probably the old Grain Belt. No?
No, not the old Grain Belt. Flat Earth Brewing. Google it. It's on your Googles, man. And then next Saturday, on the 9th of February, is the Tim Ziggler Band at the Wild Badger out in New Richmond at 9:30. Awesome country artist. There's going to be some boot stomping. I may show up with my cowboy boots and, my gloves and my hat.
And a wig.
And my wig? I ain't wearing a wig, man. No, I only wear a wig when I come visit you. Cricket. On February 20th, you have the Half Moon Rising Songwriter Showcase at 6:30 at Ziggy's. And that's put on by Laurel Hay. And she's an awesome musician from Wisconsin. She's in a band with her man, Ben. And they're called the Pickled Beets.
Nice. Yeah. I like Pickled Beets, actually.
Pickled Beets, they're great. And he's a walleye fisherman.
All right.
So here coming up, we're going to go out walleye fishing with him. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. He sends me pictures of, him and his son holding 20+ inch walleye. I will not disclose the location. I promise.
On a lake near you.
Yeah, so that's kind of what's coming up here. And I guess maybe I should mention on Fridays across the river at the next stop, we don't tell anybody, but from 3 to 6, there's some Fireball Friday going on.
Ooh.
That
Fireball Friday.
Fireball Friday. It's finally Friday. And just pop in there and let Miss Jamie know you're with the band.
Is Fireball a fad of the 2010 plus era? Because when we're out ice fishing and stuff like that, or even like, actually, it's probably not a fad because my stepdad, who's 25 years older than me, we're out snowmobiling on the trails in negative 10 degrees, and we stopped to take a break, and he busts out a little bottle of Fireball. I'm like, what's this Fireball stuff? Am I just completely out of the loop? Because then the other day we were ice fishing, and one of the ice fishermen busted out a bottle of Fireball. Everybody's taking pulls off the Fireball bottle.
Well, I think because I drink Fireball, and it kind of reminds me of like Banaka. Like I'm like,
well, yeah, it's cinnamon though. It's cinnamon Banaka, dude. What?
Well,
you were the guy buying cinnamon Banaka.
What's funny is
that's how you got the one girl or the
one.
Two?
Dude, I used to MC Hammer Dance. I can do it.
Could you do the moonwalk?
Not properly until I learned. I was doing it wrong for years. I was doing like toe up, sliding it back, and then I realized like, no, you toe up and you plant that toe and you slide the flat foot back, and you switch. Yeah.
So you looked real good for a few years there.
Anyway,
sliding past that.
Sliding. It's funny you say that. It's a younger generation because my mom at the next stop, a couple next stops ago, she was introduced to Fireball. I'm kind of getting worried. she, she's like half a glass of wine kind of lady, but I think she might have had 2 Fireballs. Thank you, Jamie.
That'll happen to the best of us. We got to give it to our folks. Yeah.
I don't know about Fireball though.
Fireball is for cold days, is what I've realized, because I have not seen it busted out in any situation besides like a super cold day.
Yeah.
Any alcohol will warm you up. Fireball will heat you up.
Hit you up.
I don't know.
It'll hit you right in your squirrel.
It's a red squirrel there, so we're gonna move on. Are you gonna do your poem? I already figured.
Actually, so yeah, I'm gonna do my poem. So last week, I was driving around and I'm trying to think about, okay, what am I gonna talk about? Like, what do I want to say? And I had to pull over and I wrote this little thing down, and it's basically leave the world better than you found it, even if it means going out of your way to do it. From beer cans to coffee sleeves, plastic bags, our rubbish leaves. A trace of us, these selfish beings. Let's for a moment breathe and think. What about tomorrow? What do we leave? Better than the way we found it. Peace. So I was just kind of thinking about, I'd be driving and a guy flung a cigarette out of his car. And I saw the spark, and it was at night, and thinking like, God, man, I wonder how many of those end up in the ocean. Really? Because everything flows downstream.
That's true. I was going to say, you had to throw that in there. I was going to say, well, we are in Minnesota, so not a ton of stuff on our roads ends up in the ocean just because we're about as far away from the ocean as you could possibly get.
Right.
But I know what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah. But seriously, if you put 1,000 rubber ducks at the headwaters of the St. Croix.
They've done this.
How many end up in the Gulf of Mexico?
Well, did you hear about the container ship I'm imagining that's where you got that
No.
saying. Okay, well, a container ship full of rubber ducks did sink, and during the sinking, it broke open, and 20,000 or 30,000 little rubber duckies floated out, and they tracked.
How did they know only that many?
Well, they knew that the container ship went down and it was carrying X amount of rubber duckies in a.
And they recovered the.
No, well, no, they broke open and floated up.
Okay.
Well, oh yeah, okay. So long story short, yeah, I don't know exactly how many there were, but the container broke open and there was a ton of them. They got released.
24,000 rubber duckies.
Yeah.
In the ocean.
Yes, and they started plotting them where they were being found. They found them in the Arctic Circle. They found them like all over the entire planet. So just one ship going down, spewing stuff that doesn't disintegrate or whatever, and it's just going to keep floating there forever. They float around the whole Earth. So after months and months and months and even years, these rubber duckies are being found on all points of the planet. So they were just use that as an example, like, hey.
So that cigarette butt that you flick out your window could maybe make it to the ocean. It might not. But if you're on the river and you throw it in the St. Croix, it definitely has a good chance of making it down there.
You just threw it on a highway that goes one way.
Right to the...
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I was watching some documentaries on Netflix the other night. I was bored, and I like watching about real stuff. And I watched one about mushrooms, which was super interesting, and I think we should talk about that at some point.
I saw the same one.
And actually, the other one was talking about all of the plastic and waste that's in the Pacific Ocean. Just this huge mat that's like suffocating, and it's 3 times the size of Texas, it's something like that. Don't yawn. It's huge, and it sits here and conglomerates because
of the currents.
chances are at the bottom of that point, maybe that's the hole that's sucking the ocean down and spitting it up somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, because why else would it gather? Well, yeah, it's
the currents.
But you know how a toilet works. There's only a current if there's something. Yeah. I don't know. It's a theory. Maybe there's that's the weak point in our tectonic plates, because that's around the Ring of Fire. Basically, is where that plastic's hanging out, and
it's really just like an eddy.
It's an eddy.
Yeah, it's a huge eddy.
Huge eddy.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I hope they can clean that.
But I like to think that it's just like some vortex. Maybe it's like a small black hole,
a wormhole.
A wormhole
to before Adam and Eve.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the wormhole ain't sucking in any of the crap. It's keeping it all here with us.
Would you have eaten the apple, or was there an apple?
Oh, that's a slippery slope, brother.
I mean,
I get hungry. Anyway, so...
So back to trash. One of the things that really bothers me is how much garbage there is in what I buy. So if I buy something, I go and shop at Whole Foods or something, I end up with all this trash, and a lot of it's plastic. It's like, what if we could figure out how to change that?
Packaging. I know everything we buy. Packaging. It's disgusting. Half of it we don't even know how to open. Half of it we don't care about. We're mad that it's even packaged. Blister packs, dude.
What's that?
Out with those things you can't open.
Yeah.
There's no way to open them. They're sealed like if you buy a little Swiss Army knife or something, it's in a blister pack.
Like the salamis.
Well, no, that's easier, but the one you buy your dongle switch in or whatever, some type of electronic.
It's like thick plastic.
Yes, and you can't. There's no way to open it. You have to use a knife to cut it open. Then you cut yourself opening it up. What guy needs their head examined? Who invented that? There's nothing good about it. There's nothing good for the consumer, and there's nothing good for the environment at all. Enough with that stuff. Maybe
it was to prevent people from stealing it.
Well, I think it probably was, yeah, because you can't fit it in your pocket anymore.
Anymore. No, I get
That
it.
is why I
Yeah.
think that they did a lot of that packaging, but now it's become just ridiculous. It
Well,
is
what else would you package a little SD card in?
poke a hole in it and put a string through it and hang it on a hook. That's what.
Yeah.
Yes. And if somebody steals it, that's their problem, not yours. Yes, as a company, yes, theft is a problem, but you know, the people stealing stuff, they got to live with that.
Yeah.
That's a bigger burden, I think, than a corporation that's making billions of dollars. And you know, not that many people steal stuff.
Yeah.
There are people that steal stuff, yes, but
But that must
humans
be
are
what
pretty
it is.
honest.
Otherwise, why else would you put it in a huge packet? It reminds me of a Tylenol I took in Venezuela. I had a headache. I'm like, hey, I need a Tylenol. Host brother runs down to the store and brings me a pack that's like huge with one little tab Tylenol.
Ugh.
That's a whole nother story.
Think of
man.
the cost difference.
It's a whole nother story.
A Tylenol costs nothing to make. It's fractions of 1 penny. And then they're putting it in a package that probably costs 4 pennies. Or who knows?
Right?
The whole thing is completely whack right now.
It's super whack, and I saw, I think it might have been on Netflix, repackaging using fungus,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
When I say repackaging, I mean like changing our way of packaging, as a from cardboard and plastic to actually using organic material like fungus. I think that's a great idea.
It is. And just to go off topic for just one split second here, that is an entrepreneur. The guy that started that company. That is going off on a limb. That's stepping outside of the boundaries, to touch on the whole entrepreneur thing we talked about last week. But think of starting a company like that. I'm going to make packaging out of fungus. People are like, what kind of fungus?
Can we eat it?
Actually, most of them are going to say nothing, because they're not going to market their product as, they're going to market it to the companies that use it,
Right.
So we won't even know. But ingenious.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. We need more of that, and a lot more of that.
Well, you got that kid came up with a way to sweep the oceans,
Yeah, with his
collect trash.
Trash Blaster 2000.
Super cool.
Yeah. That was a machine that he'd float on the ocean that would harvest plastic bottles and
Yeah.
trash.
I mean, you think about it. It all starts in the river. And the whole reason I even started talking about this is because every time I go out on the kayak, I see a bunch of bullshit on the side of the riverbank.
Mm-hmm.
You're hoping it's not going to be glass, and you step on it and bust open your foot. But
Which happens every year.
yeah, it's plastic and aluminum and plastic bags. I swear plastic bags are the bane of our existence. That plastic bag model needs to just fucking change.
The whole packaging industry needs to revamp. They need to sidestep, not even pivot. They just need to sidestep and change it, because it's a problem. I have a family of 5, and I am the guy that takes out the trash every week, and I am disgusted by how much trash I throw away every week. And I'm thinking, I'm just one person.
Poopy diapers.
Well, not just poopy diapers. But
You
that's
can
just
compost
one.
that.
Yeah, I mean, that's just one thing. I'm talking like the packaging. There's a lot of it's cardboard and cardboard packaging and stuff like that. But man, it's out of control. And these landfills, I'd like to, go visit one sometime and just take a look at it, because the amount of trash I personally throw away, they must have a landfill just designated for me. I'm serious, man.
Yeah.
Like it's that out of control. And then you think about how many people are living here. All that stuff is going somewhere. You dig a big hole in the earth and you dump it in there. I don't think there's a big environmental problem with that. It needs to happen, but we don't need to be dumping all this plastic and stuff that's really,
Never going to go anywhere.
yeah, we could be doing something else with it to create energy, or I don't know.
We should talk to Elon Musk and have him just be like, hey, let's send some blimps to the sun.
Or why doesn't he use his rockets to...
Use his rockets to take trash up.
Yeah.
And then, let's just propel it to the sun.
Yeah.
But then we'll cause, solar system warning.
flares. All of our
I know,
satellites
get
go out.
eaten, man. It just, I don't think it would be an issue. Unless we start maybe sending other stuff, but, flammable liquids.
Convicts.
Convicts. Yeah.
Send us back some data right before you hit that real hot spot.
So a couple of days ago, you're like, hey, Chris, we got to prank my buddy. And Mr. Jones, we're going to bleep out his first name, but...
We'll definitely tell you his last name. Mr. Jones.
Mr. Jones. And
a dear old friend.
The story's kind of funny because in the middle of the call, or right at the beginning of the call, he realizes, and I realized that I gave him my number a couple years ago. He had my name, my phone number, and my email. I didn't realize this when I dialed his number. Anyway, so we give Mr. Jones a call, and this is what transpired.
Hello, Zach.
Hello? Yeah.
Mr. Jones?
What's going on, man?
Oh, not much. I'm just looking for a piece of property.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'd like to get me something that I could set up my small business on that's kind of close to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's doing like an ice cream self-service. And then I'm going to do family portraits and kids daycare. And I was wondering, I heard you know how to sell or buy houses and stuff, and I'm just looking.
Yeah. Well, first of all, who am I talking to?
This is Victor.
Victor. Okay. You know, it's so weird, Victor. On my caller ID, you came up as somebody I know, but somebody that I never talked with named Chris. So that's why I answered the phone with Chris.
Oh.
Maybe you've got his old number.
Well, yeah, I got me a Walmart track phone.
Okay.
It ain't one of them smart ones.
Sure.
But yeah, and it'd be nice to be in a subdivision backed up against a field because I like to do a little hunting, and I got a couple of deer blinds that I want to put up, and I won't be able to shoot.
All right. I'm going to take some notes on what you tell me then, okay? So you'd like some land, you're a hunter, you said you'd like a property that you could use for business purposes. Portrait photography, did you say?
Yeah, like family portraits, and and it's kind of a combined business. I got this ice cream truck. It's a self-delivery, and then it goes into photography and kind of like a daycare that my wife runs.
All right. What is self-delivery? What do you mean by that? Ice cream truck, self-delivery.
Oh, we just let the kids hop on in and jump on in the back and pick out their own ice cream.
Oh, okay.
And it's like kind of like an honor system.
Oh, right on. Okay. Where are you located, and where would you like to be?
Well, we've been driving up the last couple of weeks, and we've been located at the wait stops along 35 there through Iowa and Missouri, and we've been doing pretty good. Okay. So we got a down payment. I think we got about $2,000, and we'd like to find something. We was thinking about maybe squatting somewhere, because I think if you squat long enough, you end up with the property. Yeah,
I don't know too much about that. So you might be on your own if you're trying to get that done, or I'm figuring that out. But let's see here. You said between Iowa and Missouri. Where are you coming from?
We're coming from Mountain Home, Arkansas, down there in the Ozarks, and
Really?
yeah, we got tanks. We're bringing some animals. We got I got a ferret farm, and we got some roosters.
Farm, did you say?
A ferret farm, and we got roosters.
Oh, ferret.
Yep, and we got about 15 baby alligators actually, but we call them crocodiles. And so, yep, it's part of our petting zoo. When we go to the state fairs.
Yeah.
And that's one of the big reasons that we won't come up here is because the state fair here.
The state fair, sure.
And
you got a lot of little businesses going.
Definitely, and we take them alligators and raise them nice and big, and then we can sell them to the vendor. And I know in the state fair up there's a vendor that serves alligator meat, so we're going to be diving into that business too.
Yeah. Now, are these, you call them crocodiles? Are they crocodiles or alligators?
No, we call them crocodiles, but they're actually alligators.
Okay. All right. So you'd be looking, maybe. Do
you think maybe you have like know of a vacant house, or if you got something, and I mean we could come in and take care of the place and make sure that it gets swept and the cobwebs get taken out of there, and get our business just cooking, and then we find something.
I get what you're saying. I don't have any properties that I can think of right now that would work for that. But
yeah,
I hear you. How did you get my number?
I think it must have been on the internets when I got an email. It did my Googles, and it's through through Edina Realty. It's like a mailer.
Okay, cool.
But we can get you on our mailer too. We've got pamphlets.
Please, yeah, I'd really love to see more about what you got going on.
And one of the things too is that
can I take down your email address and your phone number just to make sure I got the best ones?
Yep.
Go ahead.
It's Picture Alaska at me.com. And
PictureAlaska@me.com.
Yeah, that's it. And we done one of the big reasons we moving besides starting this alligator tail business is we done cleared out the squirrel population down there in Mountain Home, and our friends up there, they say that there's a lot of squirrels and you got different varieties, and so we're gonna make little baby boots out of them for dogs, because your dogs, when they walk outside, you need to put them in something, and so we're gonna make them out of squirrels.
Okay.
So, what I'll do is if maybe I can send you I'll send you a text message, and it's to like a radio show that they do on the internets, and we're on them, and you can hear about us. So I'll send that over to you, and if you want to send me some information, you could email it to me, and I'll have Betsy Lou check on one of her. I think she's got a computer or something that she gets her emails through. So you can do that. I'd be much appreciated.
Okay, cool.
Well, thank you, Mr. Jones, and hopefully we'll be in touch.
All right, thanks a lot, Vickers. And then this is the best place to get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can call me here. That's fine. Or you could just shoot me an email, and I'll send you she wants me to send this link off, so I'm going to send you a link, and then you can kind of get a scope of who we are and what we do and kind of our credentials.
That sounds good. I look forward to it.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Today, our episode is brought to you by the Tilted Tiki and Mr. Chris G, all the way up here from the south end of town. How you doing, sir?
Not too bad. How are you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for coming out. Before I just got to introduce him. He's a great guy, great business owner, super involved in the community, very involved in bringing Stillwater together. He's always cross-promoting shows at other venues and just trying to create a buzz in Stillwater. And the Tilted Tiki is in the Grand Garage on Main Street next to the Fancy Cooking Store. And
Yes.
they have a great menu. And I don't know, it's been great knowing you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You too.
Thanks for opening up this place in Stillwater and being such a proponent of live music. You have a lot of live music.
Yes, we do. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. People, I don't think people realize how much live music and entertainment there is in downtown Stillwater. So we need to get the word out.
A lot of great local talent. And actually, the Tiki was where I met Daryl. Him and his beautiful wife were out there one night and got him up, and he played some cajon with me. And yeah, then we began, I don't know, recording music and fishing and spending time on the river. But back to the Tiki, what are you into these days? Bingo? And
We got all kinds of stuff going on. Yeah, we do Coach Purse Bingo, first and third Monday of every month, which is pretty fun. So the ladies and guys like to come out and, play bingo for some purses. So it kind of brings the boring Monday of a winter night to alive down at the Tiki. And we actually started, this will be our third comedy night. The first Wednesday of every month, we're doing a comedy night down there. So this Wednesday, tomorrow, will be our third one. That's been a hit so far. So, and plus, we do live music. Chris runs the open mic on Tuesdays, and we do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We do a lot of live music. You can find out who's playing on our Facebook page. So, The Tilted Tiki. So, check that out.
do you have plans for Valentine's Day?
We do, yeah. We're doing a $59 couples dinner, and you get your choices of a lot of things. A couple cocktails included of our specialty cocktails. Kurt Jorgensen and Brianna Tagg are playing from 6 to 9, so it's going to be a good night.
That will be a good night. They're a great act.
Yeah, they're very talented.
Tell us how you are involved with the Chamber of Commerce these days.
Yeah, it's we're trying to. The winter's kind of slow down downtown Main Street, so we're working with the Chamber and Discover Stillwater. They've come up with a program now. It's called Local Love Thursdays. They're trying to entice locals to come back down, rediscover what's going on in Stillwater or downtown Stillwater, because there's so much going on than there used to be, And so the local shops are staying open later on Thursdays. There's a lot of live music going on as well. So just kind of reintroduce the locals to what's going on, which is a good thing. It's a lot of fun stuff going on down there.
When it comes to bands booking and stuff and playing all your events, and you have 5 days a week or 6 days a week live music,
Yeah.
how are they? Like, say we find a new band or a new band's interested in playing in Stillwater, how do they contact the Tilted Tiki to be able to do they have to submit demos? Do they have to talk to you directly? How do you get new bands in there?
Yeah, they talk to me. You can email me at info@thetiltedtiki.com and then send me your links and information and things like that. We'll take a look at it. But yeah, there's so many people interested in playing in downtown Stillwater. It's like a mini Memphis or Nashville down here. I mean, we have 12 plus locations with live music. That's incredible, all within walking distance. So it's just an awesome area to go listen to music, and they're all different times. You can hit a couple different, 2 or 3 bands in one night if you wanted to, or there's a couple new hotels down there. Stay for a weekend and make a trip out of it. So it's awesome.
Yeah, it's funny. Like a couple years ago, I was considering opening up a coffee shop in Stillwater, and the previous restaurant had moved out, and I'm in there looking at how I would sustain a coffee shop there. And Chris walks in, and Chris had a little shop up the way there, and he had these palm trees in it. I'm scratching my head thinking, is this guy going to sell palm trees in Stillwater? Like, how is that going to happen? What he was doing, he was staging the Tilted Tiki. And I think it's beautiful. Like, we met one day in there, you know, like we shook hands, and that's how I met you.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
and
it's
as it's obviously a successful restaurant and bar, what made you jump out and want to do a tropical version of a bar in a place like Stillwater, Minnesota, where it's half the year there's snow on the ground?
Yeah, that's crazy. And that, you know, when we first opened up, people said, "What the heck?" But it's always been kind of a family joke that I don't open up a tiki bar someday because of our travels to Florida and Hawaii and stuff like that. We kind of just fell in love with the Polynesian culture, and we had a tiki bar in our back deck in Woodbury, and I have a cabin up near Balsam Lake, Wisconsin. One day I was looking at this little boathouse, which by the water, which didn't have a boat in it anymore. It really didn't have anything in it. I'm going, tiki bar. So we cut a hole in the side, threw some thatch and bamboo all over it, and it was the hit of the lake, you know. So for years and years, we've always been tiki-fied. So, and then I don't know, this location just it really fell into our lap, and I was joking around with the leasing guy down at the Grand Garage building saying, hey, I should open up a tiki bar in there. And he says, you should. We laughed about it, and it wasn't really a serious thought in my mind until I sat there for a couple of days going, when is this location ever going to, you know, something like this ever going to pop into my lap again? So I called up the wife. I said, what do you think? And she goes, yeah, what are you, stupid? We don't know anything about running a restaurant. But, you know, we talked about it, and we decided to go for it. So it's been a lot of fun. Meet so many great people. The customers are awesome. The local Stillwater people are incredible. And, you know, a lot of tourists in the summertime, too. But they all love the environment and the drinks and the music. And so, you know, people like that stuff.
I love it how involved you are in the business. It makes a huge difference. You've built a great team around you. It's always great to see Patty out and the family. Your family comes out. I mean, we were on the news a couple months ago or 6 months ago, and we started at 9. And remember Channel, I think Channel 4? Or?
It was Jason's show from Channel 9 was out there at 9 in the morning doing something, and we filled the place up with family and friends to make it look like we had, you know, a full bar at 9 in the morning. But it was a blast.
I played later. I think we had open mic that night, so I stayed the entire time, and we just played music all day. It was actually pretty fun. Well, thanks for everything, Chris.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming out. And,
no problem.
Yeah, thank you.
Again, every Tuesday is a great open mic put on by Third Wheel Project. I can't be there every Tuesday, but somebody from Third Wheel Project is. I try to be there as much as I can. $2 tacos, $2 rail drinks.
Oh,
and
$2 Tuesday. Yeah.
$2 Tuesday.
You come out and listen to music and eat and drink for cheap. You know, it's fun. Well, you know, why not get out on a Tuesday? Don't sit at home on your couch. Come on out. Go someplace in downtown Stillwater, even if it's not the Tiki. There's so many great places.
Make your
down there.
rounds.
So.
And Wednesdays, Grant Walker, the artist from last week, he plays music every Wednesday, even during the comedy night. So there's things happening at the Tiki during the middle of the week.
All the time.
Every week.
It's fun.
Yeah.
So appreciate you guys getting the word out about downtown Stillwater and all the live music. And Discover Stillwater is going to be putting on a link on their page, so discoverstillwater.com/live music. So that should be up and running soon too. If your guests want to go out and see what's playing where or who has live music, so just come on down, go someplace.
Yes, sounds good. I wrote a jingle for you. I'll have to email it to you.
Cool.
I wrote a little jingle for you. Yeah.
Looking forward to hearing it.
All right, love you, bro.
All right.
We'll see you again.
All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
You bet.
All right, Bob and Glinda.
Good morning.
You guys are so cute. Bob and Glinda Nemec from the band Why Worry and the Fret Band. And you guys are super awesome. We've been friends for, 5 years now. And I love you guys so much.
Well, we love you too, Chris.
You guys are like high school sweethearts gone right. Right? I mean, how long have you all been playing music together?
Oh, not that long. We've both been playing since we were kids, and Glenda, playing flute and piano, and I grew up playing the accordion, and then I got into a rock and roll band playing bass because rock and roll was cooler than polkas, and but I was a bass player, so I didn't get any girls, but. And then I played, I saw Pete Seeger in a concert and traded the bass in for a 12-string guitar. Started playing coffee houses, and I remember playing Alice's Restaurant, playing the song Alice's Restaurant in a coffee house. But and I played in a jug band where back in those days I could sing the high harmony and all. And Glenda, when she got out of high school, she really didn't play anymore.
So did you know her in high school?
No. We met actually when we were both out of college.
Were you in the same high school, though?
No. Glenda's from Alabama, and I'm from Northwest Indiana.
Gotcha.
And,
So it was college you met?
No, it was after that.
Oh, man, I'm jumping to
Chris,
conclusions.
we're
here.
older than you think we are.
I don't know. I see sparkle in your eyes.
So tell us about, you're going to play a song for us tonight, kind of a slower paced love song, maybe. Can you tell us about the song you're going to play?
Yeah, well, the name of it is Under the Stars. Bob is the songwriter of the operation here.
Okay.
I'm probably biased, but I get to be.
Yeah.
I think it's a really pretty song. We had someone one time, I think we must have been at an open mic or what have you, and we did that song, and someone came up to us after asking about that song. Who wrote that? And so we said, of course, well, Bob wrote it. And they said, wow, I thought it might be Willie Nelson or somebody.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's really interesting because I'm not a prolific songwriter. I've written maybe about 22 songs. And I wish I had knew, like some of the people, they just go home and they write songs. And I just never been able to do it that way. And sometimes it's a story. Sometimes more often than not, it's the music. I have this melody in my head, and then I kind of figure out what's the story that goes with this melody. And so with Under the Stars, I had just had a pickup put into my Martin D28, and I was sitting around playing it through an amp, and I thought, that sounds pretty cool. I just started messing around with and came up with the sort of the melody of it, and thought, wow, I think that's a cowboy song, and then I thought back to I was in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I don't know if you've ever been to Albuquerque. There's the old town, the old village of Albuquerque, and it's a lot of ways to park people and their money, but it's a cool, all this adobe and all that. And I was in one of those shops, ready to give them some of my money, and there was this picture on the wall. It's like a print of a cowboy out on the cattle drive sleeping in his saddle. Okay. And I thought, this has got to be a story there, right? I mean, what's the deal with it? And so it's a cowboy, who can't seem to get it together. He's always screwing things up, had this girlfriend and he screwed that up, and now he's out there, sleeping in his saddle. And
he's just got his dog.
He didn't even have a dog, this guy. I mean, that's how rough it was on this guy.
He's seriously alone.
Yeah, he's seriously alone, just out there. And that's how that song, came to be.
Do you have a website real quick?
Oh, yeah, right. Well, we do. It's www.whyworrymusic.com.
Okay.
And that'll take you to the Facebook page and, lists all the events that we have going on, and there are some, maybe 4 or 5 songs that we put up there, and one video of the whole, like the fret band playing. We were playing at Lift Bridge. We got that up there, and yeah.
Well, we'll check you out. We look forward to listening to your music.
You bet.
And thanks everybody for tuning in to the Chris
and Daryl
podcast.
Under the stars, riding low in my saddle tonight, alone with my thoughts and my memories of you. Wishing I could take back all the mean things I've said and done. Change all the times I was wrong and times I hurt you. Born kinda wild, hot-tempered and likely to fight. I can't keep a friend, and I ain't got a home. Now I'm back on the trail with the dust and my loneliness. Can't say where I'm bound, think I'm destined to roam. Every star in the sky only reminds me of you. I think of the things I ought to do, like come back to you. So I'll keep traveling this dark, lonely path I'm on, remembering happier times, remembering you. I just can't seem to trust happiness. Like everything nice, I broke me and you. Now I'm running from ghosts and into the wilderness. A man alone in the world, a man without you. Every star in the sky only reminds me of you. I think of the things I ought to do, but that I'll never do. Under the stars, riding low in my saddle tonight, remembering happier times, remembering you. A man all alone in the world, a man without you.